Naḥûm 1, the burden of Nineveh, the book of the vision of Naḥûm the Kasiti. Hold on. They were an ancient Jewish Christian set of lower spelling. Let's see this one.
El-Kasite or El-Chazet. How to spell? The word El-Kasite is misspelled against El-Chazet. A noun meaning one of a sect of Asiatic Gnostics of the time of the Emperor Trajan. Word contains consecutive vowels, ai, in between alphabets. Elsa's and te is misspelled as I, wrong spelling. Elsa's ite correct spelling. Elsa's ite find more wrongly spelled words of El-Chazet to spell it well.
Okay. So it's supposed to be an Asiatic word, but then no one can define what it means, right? Thanks. Let's see. The Ishi is a jealous Eloha and a revenger. The Ishi is a revenger and hath wrath. The Ishi hath taken vengeance on his adversaries, and he is angry with his enemies. The Ishi is patient and great in power, and will not cleanse and acquit the guilty. The Ishi's ways are in a tempest and a whirlwind, and clouds are the dust of his feet. Ooh. Now that makes sense. Hold on. See, maybe it's just because I've been going over all this Mayan stuff again that this was on the brain when I was reading that verse, but now to me that makes more sense why they made such a big deal about this happening in front of the pyramid here. He rebuketh the sea and drieth it up. Now, this verse, I think it's interesting, all right? Rebuketh the sea, drieth it up, right? And bringeth all the rivers to be a desert. Yeah, and brings all the rivers to be a desert. Bashan languisha, and Carmel, and the dower of Lebanon fadeth away. Now the reason why I say that, and I'm mixing, I understand this, I'm mixing. When I was looking into Pyramid Lake, Nevada, right? And I found out there's a place out there, it's called the Carson Sink, all right? And the Carson Sink is where all these rivers run into the same location. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah. Carson Sink is a playa in the northeastern portion of the Carson Desert in present-day Nevada, United States of America, that was formerly the terminus of the Carson River.
I don't know why, I'm just saying, when I read that back there, that's what that reminds me of. I'm not even saying that's the place, I'm saying this is what it reminds me of, a place where you had to see, because maybe you do, maybe you don't, but there used to be stories of like the pirate ships that were lodged out there, or just ships period, and they didn't have to be pirate ships that have been lodged out there and found, and people have asked how did they get this far inland from the Pacific Ocean, and it's proof to them there used to be there used to be water in those, all the way up in that area, and now it's dry. And I was just looking at the way the rivers feed into a place like this, wherever this Bashan languisheth, whatever you pronounce it, is gonna be. It reminds me. It's gonna make. It makes you think it's gonna be a place that looks like that near Lebanon. So let's go back. The mountains tremble at him, and the hills are made desolate, and the earth hath quaked at his presence, and the world and all that dwell therein. Who can stand before the face of the I'm sorry. Start all over again at 6. Who can stand before the face of his indignation, and who shall rest in the fierceness of his anger? His indignation is poured out like fire, and the rocks are melted by him. The Ishi is good, and giveth strength in the day of trouble, and knoweth them that hope in him. That's pretty cut and clear. I like that verse, because it's you can use that when you're proving a point that the day of the Lord. It's not about any of the other deities, anything else. It's not about the guy in the New Testament. It's about him. And we know from Joel, in that day you call on his name and he will answer you. So let them call their other, all that other stuff. I don't even want to say their names, to be honest. I'm just so sick and tired of them. But you know what I'm talking about. All the different names that they say, okay, his name was all over the place and it was this, this, and this, and this. Nope. Go back to Exodus 3 and 14, right? Go back and see what what the Most High told Moses his name was. Oh yeah, you can't, because they've translated his name. They took his name, put it in the Strong's Concordance, and this is. I'll never forget when Lex broke that down. I will never forget that. When they took his name, they put it in the Strong's Concordance, and they put the definition of his name in the Bible. And all this time, I, like an idiot, just parroting whatever I was told, would always just say, "Oh, I am that I am." And whenever that was brought up, what did Moses, and the Most High, talk about his name was, But other than that, I always call him God, 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 God. Oh man, it's embarrassing. Because it's like Lex always said, it's a riddle. Whoever translated this, their mindset was in the mindset of riddles then, and how to hide things. Oh, it's it's just that it's that embarrassing, but it's that easy to understand. But with a flood that passeth by, he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. What do ye deserve devise against the Ishi? He will make an utter end, and there shall not rise a double affliction. For as the thorns embark, hold on. See, I'm getting carried away. For as the thorns embrace one another, so while they are feasting and drinking together, they shall be consumed as stubble that is fully dry. Out of these shall come forth one that imagines evil against the Ishi, contriving treachery in his mind. Thus saith the Ishi, though they were perfect, and many of them, so yet thus shall they be cut off, and he shall pass, and he shall pass. I have afflicted thee, and I will afflict thee no more. And now I will break in pieces his rod with which he struck thy back, and I will burst thy bonds asunder. And the issue will give a commandment concerning thee, that no more of thy name shall be sworn. Swan? So, how do you pronounce that? It's not swan. Swan?
Sown.
Song? What does that mean? Plant, seed. Oh, by scattering it on or in the earth. Okay, so no more will you be scattered. No more your name shall be scattered. It will be brought back together. Okay. I will destroy the graven and malted things out of the house of thy Elohah. I will make it thy grave, for thou art disgraced. Behold, upon the mountains the feet of him that bringeth good things, good tidings, and that preacheth peace, O Judah. Keep thy festivals and pay thy vows, for Bela shall no more pass through thee shall no more pass through thee again. He is utterly cut off. What in the world is that?
Belial, Hebrew. Belial is a term occurring in the Hebrew Bible, Old Testament, which later became personified as the devil. 1. In Christian texts of the New Testament. 2. Alternate spellings include Belial, Belial, Belhor, Belial, Beliar, Berial, Bilal and Belial. In the Secret Book of John, an early Gnostic text, the ruler of the underworld is referred to as Belias. 3.
Uh-huh. What do Catholics have to say? Prince of Darkness. Yeah, okay, no. Oh, alright, Jewish Encyclopedia. I'm sorry, this will be good. Because this is Old Testament. That's what we're looking for, right? Oh, look at that. Hold on, let me see if we can highlight it.
May he have no rising. Shane, Expository Times, 1897, pp. 423 et seek. Seeks to identify Belial with the Babylonian goddess Belili, Jastra, Religion of Babylonia, pp. 588, 589. Hebrew writers, according to this view, took up Belili and scornfully converted it into Belial in order to suggest worthlessness.
Oh my goodness.
Hamel, Expository Times, v. 472, agrees in the equation Belial equals Belili, but argues that the Babylonians borrowed from the Western Semites and not vice versa. This derivation, however, is opposed by Bodison and Jensen, Expository Times, Ix. 40, 283.
Wow. All right. So technically in the Old Testament, there in the book of Naḥûm, it should say, "He will be cut off from among you." Right? Wow. That's a female goddess that they're hiding, and they disguised it as a male, and they're making it the devil for the Christians in the New Testament. No wonder. Oh my goodness! It's like it makes sense. Like, oh wow. Because I was thinking about this. Like what did women do to the Caucasian male to make him, keep her in a, in this position of total submission, And I'm not saying all. I'm just saying, like, when you watch these movies, like from back in the day of Sleepy Hollow, and you see the way they believe, women were always constantly witches and stuff like that, and you're like, what happened? Like, why is their mindset always like that? Like, first sign of trouble, she's done. String her up. I'm like, because it's like their idea was that she was the devil, or she was always like related to these devils. Like, think about it. That's crazy. Oh, don't tell me this thing is going to take us to... Oh, I'm not opening it. Delete now. No. It looks like it's going to take us to Astaroth. That's why I was like, okay. Okay. All right, now it's just messing up. All right, this is the end. This is probably the end.
Balili was a Mesopotamian goddess. This name refers both to a sister of Dumuzi known from some of the texts pertaining to his death, and to a primordial deity paired with Alala and listed in enumerations of ancestors of Anu. There is no consensus among researchers if they should be considered one and the same.
I wonder. I'm not seeing the word Hebrew in here, so I don't know if she was. Well, I'll have to read more about this. I'm sorry. This is all unorganized now. I should have stuck to the Bible.